Welcome to Park Slope. Today we're going to be talking about non-monogamy, which if you use your brain, you probably figured out is the practice of not being monogamous. And we're going to be talking to a friend of mine named Lola, all about her experience as a non-monogamous person, what that means to her, and all that good stuff. So let's go talk to Lola. I have a lesbian shelf too.
This is my lesbian shelf, Lesbian Ethics. On our backs, Guide to Lesbian
Yeah,
Sex.
I've seen this book. How do you identify?
I am not a lesbian. I'm Lola Pellegrino, and I'm queer as Christmas. Sometimes I call myself a sex weirdo. I feel like that encompasses my whole approach. I have always dated more than one person at once, or just sort of had different relationships at different times.
Is that something that your family is also understanding of?
Yeah, I think that falls under the same measurement as everything I do is weird. It's really good to have a collection of something because then people just know what to bring you when they want to bring you a present.
Yeah. You have the best home in the world.
Thank you. I'm like a little magpie, I guess. I take the things that I like and I stack them up because if I'm going to look at a pile of things, it better be all things that I like.
Yeah.
First crush was on a punk rock boy from the next town, and it was also on his best friend. They were both nerds.
That informed your crush?
Yes, I think so. And I was like, well, you guys are best friends. Why don't we all just hang out? You guys like hanging out, and I like hanging out with you guys. What's the big deal?
I want to talk to you more about non-monogamy because I do know a lot about certain sections of queer identity, and I don't know a lot about non-monogamy. But I also know that you're writing a memoir. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering if you could show me some of your memoir artifacts.
Oh, yes.
I can't tell you how excited I am about the amount of composition notebooks at my feet.
25 of them.
Well, what's your favorite thing to write about? What do you get most passionate about?
Permission giving. So if everybody could just know that they are normal and the thing that they think is their deepest, darkest secret is probably not that bad.
The internet has been revolutionary for that, especially with the access that people now have to see that others have desires like they have experiences like they have. It gives us all permission to do what we want to do and not just be having a bunch of vanilla sex
with one person
forever.
How did I start writing sex advice for teens? I don't remember. I was always the person that people came to for sex advice when I was a teen, and then as I stopped being a teen, people still ask me, so I just wrote it down. Age 13 was when I started dating. Most of the friends I thought were Baill. We would just end up hooking up at one point.
Yeah. I also have had sex with most of my friends.
So there's all these things that make people think that two people in a romantic relationship are separate and different than everybody else.
Right.
There's legal privilege for two people. There's cultural privilege. You get a lot of money if you get married. I know people who consider themselves I only love one person. I only think about one person the most strict, but then they have an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend that they also have an intense and loaded and changing and dynamic relationship with.
We have such narrow ideas about what constitutes a relationship, and I've have some knowledge of non-monogamy, but I didn't really have any of it before I was on my way to getting married. This is new information to me, and I feel I do wonder what my life would have been like if I had been exposed to that possibility as a young person, and for a lot of us, what that would look like.
I mean, it makes sense why, people don't really think about it because it's totally different, and people often have an idea in their head of what a non-monogamous person looks like.
We tackle issues, about queer people, about trans people, and non-monogamy at its root really doesn't have anything to do with your sexuality. I mean, you happen to identify as queer, but you could certainly identify as heterosexual and be non-monogamous.
I feel uncomfortable most of the time making the connection between non-monogamy and queerness because even though both of them are non-binary identities that sort of are considered to be outside the norm, a lot of people face discrimination for queerness that in a way that they will never face for non-monogamy.
If I copy this idea, would that be okay with you?
No, it's totally fine. People have done it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
People copy your ideas.
Yeah, sometimes.
We talked a little bit about what it is like to say that you're non-monogamous in relationships, but do you have people in your life, friends or family, who have pushed back against that?
I won't hide anything. If I'm dating two people at the time, I'll talk about the two people that I'm dating, but people who have met me and then find that out, it just any conversation about anything else just stops.
Because they just want to know.
They just want to know. everything I'm doing with more than one person.
See, that to me just reads as they want to know because it's something they would be interested in doing themselves, but they won't bring themselves to do.
One time I had a 24-hour pancake party, which was where I made pancakes for 24 hours. And one of the people that I invited was a journalist that was like sort of peripheral, and she was doing this 100 parties in 100 days. I was dating 2 dudes at the time. I read her write-up the next day, and it was like, the Lola threw a pancake party. She has 2 boyfriends.
Wow. So
And
she just undermined the whole
Totally.
situation.
Most of the pictures are of me with my 2 boyfriends, although there was one picture of a pancake. When people ask me about how I deal with jealousy, I have a very weird answer, which is that I don't really get jealous. I see jealousy as not a feeling that's a deal breaker or something that I need to fix, but jealousy is a reason to look at something that I feel like I might not be getting in that relationship. Once I kind of isolate the thing that's at the bottom of it, then I just ask for what I need. Say you have 1 kid and you love that kid with all of your heart, right? What happens if you have 2 kids? You just love both of your kids an equal amount.
And it makes so much sense to me, and I think that the reason we separate it out is because of sex.
Yeah.
We have this attachment to sex that says, like, it is more powerful than any other bond we can have, which I don't believe is true at all.
No.
And I think that thinking about the relationships that we have in our lives, I have people who are so fulfilling to me in particular ways and other people who are fulfilling to me in other ways, and you're right, it doesn't take away from any, my one friend doesn't take away from friend 2, doesn't take away from my relationship with my wife. And certainly if everyone were gone and it was just my wife and I, we would have some really big problems.
I don't really fit in any box, and I never really did in all parts of my life. I'm mixed race. I have felt weird my whole life, and I feel like a relationship between queerness and non-monogamy is just part of not fitting into anything.
Thanks for being here.
I loved it.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
It is Pride Month. Lola, you had another term for Pride Month?
I didn't make it up, but Pride Month, June as Gay Stamina Month.
Actually, the Inksane in our last episode left a comment about how a lot of celebrations around Pride are sort of bar focused. Sort of what you're saying, stamina. It's like a lot of focus around drinking, and that there's not a lot for young people. I know that with my work with Everyone is Gay, we are doing an all ages Pride party on the 27th. So if you live in New York, you can come to that. Another thing that you can do all ages is that in New York City at the Pride Festival, Everyone is Gay and First Person will both have booths. And you can come down, you can visit us. I will be there, we can high five. Please subscribe to our channel because you'll get to see wonderful humans like Lola. I bet you Lola knows where you can follow us.
At First Person PBS.
This was really educational for me.
Yay! Real hugs.
Yeah, real hug. That was a real hug.
It was a real hug.
I don't know if it read, but we felt it.